Welcome back, you're watching Good Life. Love means never having to say you're sorry. Well, that's the famous line from the movie Love Story. But that doesn't always work in the real world. When couples fight, both partners are responsible. The hardest part, however, is to own up one's bit and apologize. Earlier, Mini Menon spoke to psychotherapist Swati Desai to discuss how saying sorry can make a difference in our relationships.
You remember the movie Love Story, which sort of propagated this myth that love means never to have to say sorry, but that's totally wrong. It's very important to apologize when you do say something that you should not have said, or you do something that you shouldn't have done. Now, the one very important thing in a relationship is to be able to introspect. Whenever there is a fight or whenever you feel really very strongly about something, post that feeling. It's very important to introspect in what way I contributed. Whenever there is a strong feeling, almost surely it is not just what the spouse is doing or what the other person is doing. Some amount of that strong feeling is coming from your own issues, and you react to your own issues in all sorts of ways. So it's very important to pay attention to your own actions, what you did, and then once you realize what your contribution is, to actually admit it is another very, very important thing.
And it's also important to do it in time rather than wait for a delay. Here's a clip from a movie, Aapki Kasam, which shows this particular classic case of not having said sorry at the right time and how much it costs finally at the end of the day. Take a look.
मैं अपनी गलती का प्रायश्चित करने आया हूँ. आप लोगों से माफी मांगने आया हूँ, खास करके सुनीता से. मैंने उसके साथ बहुत बड़ा अन्याय किया है. तुम बहुत देर से आए हो. सुनीता अब यहाँ नहीं है. कहाँ है? अपने घर. घर? अपने पति के साथ. और अब वो बहुत सुखी है. लेकिन ये कैसे? ये पूछने का हक तुमने उसी दिन खो दिया जिस दिन तलाक हुआ.
That was from the movie Aapki Kasam. Now, to contextualize that particular scene, what happens is that Rajesh Khanna suspects his wife, the character played by Mumtaz, of having an affair with a colleague of hers, and things go to such an extent that both break up their marriage on the basis of that. Now, in this particular case, obviously he realized too late that he was in the wrong. In this situation, perhaps there is no solution, but when should a person, actually get back to the books and, make a judgment on what he did?
Whenever you feel something very strongly, right after that, think about in what way I am contributing to this. And that is the right time to introspect right away. And also it is very important to remember that when you apologize or when you actually take responsibility for your part, you become the winner. So it is a win-win situation when you actually go and say sorry. And a lot of times people think about it as being vulnerable or actually a sign of weakness, that you have to admit that, okay, I made this mistake. Like Rajesh Khanna could have he could have thought about it the next day. He would have realized his mistake only if he had communicated it with his wife, but he didn't do that. So saying sorry is actually a sign of personal strength and not weakness. And B, when you introspect, it requires a lot of courage to actually take responsibility. Right. So it really
So there are two interesting things over here. One, you said that a person is often worried about exposing his or her vulnerabilities by accepting that the person is sorry.
Absolutely.
And B, the question of ego. How do you grapple with these two?
This point does address that particular issue, that to let go of your ego from time to time is very important in relationships. If you just hold on to your I'm right or I need to be right or self-righteous, you don't get anywhere.
Swati, now these are universal issues that are important in any relationship. What is so special about this in a couple relationship?
Yeah, the couple's relationship is probably the most intimate relationship we are going to experience. And the issues that are brought up in a couple's relationship you will see that the same issues will not be brought up in other friendships or other kinds of relationships. So actually you can use your relationship with your spouse to understand your own issues and make yourself a better and a stronger person. And this is such an important thing, that relationship, like the cliches, it can serve as a mirror. But it's really true that it can tell you about your own ego, your own issues, your own patterns, your own deep things that never come up in any other relationship.
Right.
So you can use this.
So saying sorry reflects your personal strength and not your weakness. Next week, Swati will discuss how to keep romance alive in a relationship.